Welcome to Good Morning Football. We are live in New York City. Look at that old school Rams poster. NFL Film sent us those. Yeah, it's the Rams and the Seahawks in Seattle on this October 3rd. It is week 5, kicking off tonight. Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt, Nate Burleson. My name's Kay Adams. And the NFL's Crucial Catch also kicking off tonight between the Rams and Seahawks. It is a league-wide initiative. It's a campaign that supports the American Cancer Society and addresses early detections. That detection is the key. That's what you need to do to minimize your risk for multiple types of cancers. And you can join the fight by going to NFL.com/crucial catch for more insight and more tips. It's going to be all month long here on NFL Network. Let's bring in Omar Ruiz.
Okay.
Let's get to it with the lead block in this
lead block,
great
Omar.
matchup.
Lead block.
Omar, Rams coming off a loss. You know that their coach, Sean McVay, has something cooked up for the Seahawks defense. So what is Coach Pete Carroll saying to make sure his D has their A game going tonight?
Well, the buzzword around this defense and really around the Seahawks in general that I keep hearing about is balance. They want to be balanced in every way, and that includes defensively. Because of the skill, the speed, and the play of their linebackers, they've been able to line up in their base defense, 4 up front, 3 linebackers, about half the time this season. And as well as Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright and Michael Kendricks have played, it's really the leadership of Wright and Wagner bringing along those guys like Ziggy Ansah and Jadeveon Clowney, making sure they're lined up properly, which will be incredibly critical tonight with as much pre-snap motion and as much misdirection as the Rams like to have. Now, with the Seahawks losing 3 straight to the Rams, Kyle, I know you appreciate this. It's like quantum leap. Remember Scott Bakula trying to have those alternative outcomes? Had the Seahawks beaten Dallas in the playoffs last year, they would have went to the Coliseum and played in the playoffs, and they felt that the third time would have been a charm. They would have beat the Rams last year in the postseason, and they would have gone on to the NFC Championship game. Obviously, it didn't happen, but they'll be able to back up those words tonight here on Thursday Night Football.
Yes, Omar, the Vietnam episode of Quantum Leap is unbelievable. I'm still not right after that. Speaking of not right, though, we talked to Todd Gurley all morning. He's not getting the carries he normally gets, fine. But he also seems kind of annoyed, unhappy, stoic, use whatever word you want to use. Omar, tell us something about Todd Gurley. Are they going to do anything differently with him tonight?
Well, we saw him truck about 4 guys into the end zone on Sunday on one of those touchdowns. I don't know if it qualified as an angry run, but we've also seen him hurdle guys this year. After the game on Sunday, I asked Todd, what more can you do to prove that you're ready to handle more of a workload once again? He said, there is nothing more for me to say. My play has proven what I can do in this league the last couple of years. It's proven what I can do even this season. He doesn't call the plays. And he made that statement not out of frustration for him not getting the ball, more out of frustration because they lost. Now, the man that does call the plays, Sean McVay, said Todd Gurley only getting 5 carries on Sunday was really a matter of circumstance. Of course, they fell behind 21-0 early. They had about 5 penalties offensively in their first 20, so they are unfriendly down in distances. They'll obviously work to get Todd Gurley involved early and often for this game against the Seahawks and somehow, some way try to get this balance. But Sean McVay pointing out as great as the run-pass balance is, their job is to move the football and score points, and that will be the priority tonight.
Hey, Omar, before you go, the big names for the Seahawks, of course, are Pete and Russ and Bobby, but you're there in Seattle, and there's some legendary names, Eddie, Stone, Jeff, Mike. You tweeted yesterday that Pearl Jam was the most disappointing concert of your life. Wow. Sitting there in the city that gave us Pearl Jam. Explain yourself, Omar.
His face.
I love Pearl Jam. I love Eddie Vedder. We were out at Elton John concert a couple weeks ago here in Tacoma Dome. Even Elton John gave a shout out to Pearl Jam and the rest of the Pacific Northwest crew here in the incredible music scene. But Kyle, I came up with Pearl Jam and 10, and they did not play Jeremy. They did not play Yellow Ledbetter. And they did not play my favorite song, Black.
Yeah,
so when you go to a Pearl Jam concert and you don't see those 3 songs, including 2 of my favorites, of course I'm going to walk away disappointed. That was one of the most incredibly disappointing concerts of my life. That's the explanation. However, I still love Pearl Jam. I still love those guys. But that's the explanation, Kyle.
Scathing take.
Wow. And twisted thoughts they spin round my head, Omar. Incredible report. Incredible. Yes.
Thank you.
We're the best. The Rams are heading to Seattle. We'll take on the Seahawks in a Thursday night divisional battle. Let's break it down, all things LA and Seattle, with some Throwdown Thursday. The Rams and Seahawks have two of the best head coaches in the league when it comes to creative play calling and overall success, but there can only be one. There can only be one answer in this question, Nate. Which head coach do you trust more? Who has the biggest advantage? And I'm going to make it specific. In the fourth quarter, McVay or Pete Carroll?
I'm going with Pistol Pete Carroll. He's been there. He's done that. He has a ring on his finger. He's been to back-to-back Super Bowls. He should be a back-to-back Super Bowl champion. I didn't see him in the big game get punched in the mouth by the opposing team's head coach. So I'm going with Pete because I've seen him do it. I love me some Sean McVay. But hey, kid, you just got here.
And Triggs, the fourth quarter comebacks are pretty much synonymous with Pete Carroll in the squad.
Nice, great. Nate just said he's never seen Pete Carroll in a big game not call the right play.
I didn't say those exact words. I didn't say those exact words. I said top rope. I said I didn't say he's in a big game and get punched in the mouth by the opposing head coach.
Hold on, Wait, we've got a guest. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Marshawn Lynch to the show.
Hey, oh, get it. You take my chair. All right.
Soon we forget. No, look, Pete Carroll's great. Sean McVay's great. Both of them got run over by Bill Belichick in the last moments of the game, and it was the Malcolm Butler play, and then last year Gronk with that big catch, absolutely shattering the Rams' hopes. But I'm going to go with McVay just because of since McVay's been in the league, 2 division titles, Super Bowl appearance. Pete can't say the same thing. In the last 3 times they've squared off, twice in Seattle, McVay's got the best of Pete. But we'll see how this goes today. I think both teams are going in different directions based on last week.
Rams have won 3 straight going into this one's matchup.
I don't have any tattoos, Kay, but Pete Carroll does, and it's a tattoo of Malcolm Butler making an interception in the Super Bowl.
That's
Sorry,
his one
I'll go
mistake.
McVay. It's the biggest mistake of all time.
He won 2 NFC championships based on big fourth quarters.
Worst play call in the history of the sport, fourth quarter.
That balances out a Super Bowl ring and 2 NFC championships.
In the history
We're talking
of the
fourth
sport.
quarter. Oh, my
One
goodness.
call ruined a Super Bowl.
The first 4
Body
years
of work
both of their
over that.
coaching
Worst
starts.
call in the history of the sport.
Go ahead. Next question, Kat.
Looking at the 2 teams playing tonight, they each have a player on their roster that can completely shift the tide of the game with a big performance. So I'm asking you, which player will be the bigger game breaker tonight? Is it Aaron Donald or Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson says Aaron Donald is the toughest opponent he's ever faced.
And I think Aaron Donald is going to be mad tonight. Guys, do you remember what happened last time the Rams played the Seahawks, where Aaron Donald picked up a loose ball and got knocked out of bounds by Seahawks center Justin Britt, and then they fought a little bit and separated? At the end of the game, Aaron Donald's helmet and shoulder pads were already off. He put his helmet back on. He buckled it up for a confrontation on the field with no shoulder pads so as to engage, again, Justin Britt.
With the fisticuffs?
Yes, he blew a microchip. I mean, this was like Andre Johnson beating up Cortland Finnegan. Out of nowhere it happened. Watch for Aaron Donald to make it a little personal tonight because that was wild.
I remember that Andre Johnson. That was the original Dre Beats. And I ain't talking about the headphones.
Cortland Finnegan, they called him, right?
I'm going with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is going to be that guy because he has the ball in his hand majority of the time. Last week, Aaron Donald, I know he's a Destructicon. He impacts every play, but he only had 1 sack. So I feel like Russell Wilson is going to be Mr. Magic Man, Russell Wilson, because in prime time, I don't think anybody else plays better.
I'll go with you on that one. Russ is unbelievable, and he steps up in these Thursday night games. I feel like all the time we're waiting for Russell Wilson to not have that big moment. He shuts us up and does have that big moment. Russell Wilson, to have a quarterback and a defensive tackle in the same conversation, I think the quarterback in this one's going to have the ball in his hands. Aaron Donald might not.
Aaron Donald had 20.5 sacks last year, only has 1 this season, so he needs that big game-breaking game to get going. Maybe it is against the tough opposition with Russell Wilson. Let's finish it off with a rap battle, Kyle, between L.A. and Seattle. Repping the City of Angels is a wild guy, Tone Loc.
Nice.
And
Or
Seattle,
Locke, depending on how you know him. Yeah.
I didn't say Loc.
No, I didn't say you did. Some people call him Locke as well.
Everyone's going to think that
Oh, Kyle said Locke.
No, I didn't.
It's a man who does not lie. Sir Mix-a-Lot. I'd like to know who is the better rapper? Who is the better man?
Better man.
I'll do this quickly. I've always loved Baby Got Back, his incredible series of rhymes, including Honda and Anaconda, which is amazing. But there's one part of that song that always rubbed me weird. He goes and you can do side bends or sit-ups, but please don't lose that butt. And the song just kind of stops completely, and it doesn't rhyme. So that always rubbed me weird. And I like Tone Loc. I like Funky Cold Medina. I love Wild Thing. And he was in a pivotal scene in the movie Heat, and I thought he stole the show.
It's a great part of the song. You don't like that part?
It doesn't rhyme.
Okay.
I'm
Every
all
other
in
line
on
does,
Tone
but that
Loc's
one.
acting career because we know about Heat, we know about Ace Ventura. I love the movie Blank Check.
Hey now.
Tone Loc plays
Hey now.
role in Blank Check. Mr. McIntosh. I'm in on Tone Loc. Great actor.
Ace
Posse.
Ventura, too.
Posse.
All right, Nate, you just swung. You just swung.
Yeah, I just
Posse,
I was
forget
gonna
about
go
it.
some Mix-a-Lot. Posse's on Broadway because I'm a Seattle guy, but Posse got me every time.
I forgot he's in Blank Check. Yes,
Check,
he
Ace
is.
Ventura, Heat.
It's so good. Morning football on the way. Yes, we are getting there.